when I first released my album back in June 2024, you know, I did that for me. I had to. I wanted to make sure I got these songs out. I have this saying to my that. Well, it's not my saying, but I say it now, which is I want to leave this planet empty. Artistically, I want to get all my ideas out as possible. So you know I've been wanting to write songs for the longest, but I've always been in a supportive role. That's just what I thought my role was, whether it be music production, whether it be management, artist development, promoter. I knew that was something that was needed. I knew it was something I had experience in, and it wasn't. I didn't mind playing that role. But as my artists that I was working with got older and took on different responsibilities and really didn't have time to create, I was still in creative mode. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity for me to do what I've always wanted to do, and as write songs and release songs of my own. So that's what I did in of June last year, and um, I didn't know what to expect, from like personally, like, were they gonna be good or, and then or how people were gonna receive it. Um well right off the bat, the first thing I recognized was I liked doing it. I liked writing. And I did release some vocal music back in the early nineties. I was working with groups out when I lived in Oxon Hill, Maryland, and I was working with artists in PG County and in DC and also Baltimore. I was writing and doing vocal music then. I wasn't confident then. Um, for some reason, I just wasn't that confident. I didn't like the way my voice sound, and I was surrounded by local artists in those areas that I just I really respected, and I guess there's a part of me that just didn't feel worthy. So production became my safe space. I knew I was nice with the beats, and it just felt safe to be there. And by the time I go through the '90s, and when I come back to West Virginia in '99, I realized, no, I didn't realize, but when I came back to West Virginia in '99 to work with my brother, who y'all know is 6'6", 240, Jumbo Green, I just really put on the artist development hat and the producer hat and the manager hat. And for the next, 20 years, running our independent record label, Sound Vision Records, really, what you really was a production company. Because I really didn't know what I was doing as a record label. I knew how to make the music. I knew how to make good quality music. But when it came to the business aspect of running a independent hip hop label, there were some things I just was over my head, or things I wasn't really that interested in or passionate about. But I was passionate about making the music. So I just that's just been my role. But we get into around COVID and stuff like that. Artists that I work with, they just didn't have the time or were even interested. And I guess I had all these songs in my head, or the want to write songs. And finally, I just said, especially after my memoir. I think my memoir, when I wrote my memoir in 2019 and 2020, which still hasn't been released yet, it'll be released later this year. It's done. I just got to do it. I just got to release it. The last little parts of it, of publishing a book, cover and I already have it edited, and I do have to record the audio book because I am going to do the audio book myself. But I think my memoir gave me a little more confidence to get into writing songs. And I recognized I could tell a story. I could tell a story. So it was like, let me see if I can do that with the music. As soon as the first song I wrote was "Coexist," and that's the first song off my album, and that's you know, I love that song. I love that, and from there on, it was on. I was like, oh, this is dope. But also, I really enjoyed doing it. I really enjoyed writing, which was funny to me because you know I used to always tell my brothers and my sister and my wife, be like, I'm a beat first. I'm a beat person first. When I hear a song, the beat usually catches me first before I get to the lyrics. I've always said that, but now I have a whole new appreciation for words and vocal delivery, which makes sense because when I did artist development, I did I did try to show or teach how to value songwriting, and repetition is always whatever I've done, whether it's been music, sports, learning a trade. Repetition to me has always been the way I go about it. I know the more I do it, the better I get. That's why ageism is some bullshit, especially ageism in hip hop. It makes no damn sense. The more you do something, the better you do it, the better you get at it. So, us old heads who've been doing it for 15 plus, 20 plus years, we masters. We're masters at it. So, that old head thing, that don't work on me. I know I'm dope. I know it just don't work on me. But that's a whole nother story. Fuck ageism, especially with hip hop. No, don't fall for that. All my old heads and y'all masters. And if so I know I got my beat up in beat making. I got my 10,000 hours easily. So soon as I wrote Coexist, I knew what was next. I got to put in the time on this new craft, which is songwriting. And I'm nowhere near 10,000 hours. I don't think I'm near 50 hours. And one thing I always told artists in artist development, I'm like, don't worry about those first 15, 20 songs. It's going to be that 30, 40 songs when it click. That's when it's going to click. I ain't even got there yet. So, which is exciting because I know the path it took for me as a beat maker and all that, and all it was an amazing journey. It's still an amazing journey. You know, like the session I just posted yesterday, finding out that I can actually trigger video in Ableton. That's in production. That was a game changer yesterday. So I'm always learning stuff. But I know I have to go on this journey now with songwriting, and that's exciting. And like, I knew I couldn't wait to get the album out so I could start writing on the next stuff. And that's kind of like how I was with the beats. So it's kind of going to a similar feel and similar vibe for me on that. And I, it's dope. It's dope. Like right now with the album out, I knew, like, all right, I was like, hopefully this will spawn some collaborations, and it did. And one of the collaborations that I'm currently about to like put my focus on is Power Forward. Uh, I found out about Power Forward from Click Tonics. I've always knew about Andy Tuck and the different bands that he played in. When we were doing our stuff back in the day with 304 Recon, 66240, the Greens were doing their thing. And I've always seen things about 18 string. So I've always known about how dope Andy Tuck was. But Clint Tonics, a local DJ here in Morgantown, who does a little bit of everything, brilliant, genius. So, but very opinionated. As a compliment, Clint. That's a compliment. But he's like, you gotta see Andy in that new band, and they're dope. And the minute I saw them, I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I would go to their shows and I was writing in the crowd. I was writing to it because they had such complex and different type of styles of music, something I never heard. It was just, first of all, they're just A plus musicians, man. And you know Yeah, I was popping at their shows, just vibing out, hoping, just hoping they see me vibing and ask me to get on one of those tracks. And it eventually happened. I guess Andy felt sorry for me. Like, let me throw this guy a line. But yo, man, but we wrote some amazing music in the last year. Me and Power Ford have wrote some amazing songs. I can't wait for y'all to hear this stuff. Uh, it's coming out sound. I just started mixing on it now. You know, I think it's going to be two different because they were already working on an album, so they have their album that's coming out too. But then we got a joint album that we're doing together until I can kick in the door and become a full-time member. But yeah, man, I just love playing with those guys, and they you know they bring out a different type of writing for me because it's a challenge. You know, just writing to beats is dope, and I love doing that. And you know, it's but writing with a band and the changes they make and the breaks and the bridges and it's it's a little more complex, and I like that challenge. So yeah, I'm excited about the new stuff that we're about to release with Power. That I'm about to release with Power Forward. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. And it's funny, you know. It's like me and my son. We're kind of going through the same um, process together. You know, my son, he's been experimenting with music here in Morgantown for the last few years. Y'all know him as Mr. Enigma. You know, my family. We call him. You know, he's Eric Jr. He's my son, but he's he's also um has real found his niche in songwriting. And I'm always preaching, got to get in the reps, you got to put it in. He been hearing me talk to artists like this for years. And but his pen game is nuts. But the fact that we're both at the beginning of our songwriting journey, and going through it together, and have songs together. Me and him were he was featured on the No Options project with me, the Appalachian Hip Hop Project. We have a song on there with Quai, my old hip hop jazz crew, and it's called, I think the song's called "Gonna Be Me," and we wrote that. We probably wrote that about 3-4 years ago, and it just came out. But that got featured on the No Options um, project this last year. Also, me and him, he's on my album on DNA. Um, Beat I did. He killed it, murdered it. We actually got a video out. Go check that out. It's DNA. It's off my album, An Appalachian Hip Hop Story Part One. And we've been in the studio working on his new stuff. Um, really dope, really dope. But that's dope that me and him are both going through this process together. I'm a proud dad about that. Speaking of my son gives some of the best gifts. I know if you can't see some of this stuff right here, you can see some of this right here. But he gave me. I'll get y'all a close up of this soon. But he got me. My son gives me the best, and me and my wife's the best gifts. Man, he's really good. But he got me some new stuff. You guys see it? They're going right up here on the wall. Oh, I don't know if y'all can see it. Can you see it? Yeah, that's that new. That's that Eric B. and Rakim. You know that's going up on the wall. Can I get up in there? Can you see it? No, 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 no. This is definitely going up on the wall. The Biggie. He got me the Biggie. Oh, yes, he did. He got me the Biggie. Love my son. And the Run DMC. Run DMC. Look, with the album, you can't see it. Let me get back here. See the album, Run. But this is the Run DMC. They're all going on the wall. I'm going to have to make space for them. When I get them up there, I'll definitely show them to you all. But yeah, man. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm excited about starting to work on this Power Forward project. I'm also working on a project with Jeffrey Goodwin. It's amazing, amazing. I got some other collaborations I'm working with too. Be working with, got Nerve Fresh project coming out. Finally, the Nerve Fresh project coming out with B hyphen. We're gonna start working on that in probably end of March. Whenever I get done with this um, um, Power Forward project and get it all out, that'll be the next thing I do. But yeah, man. So looking forward to doing that. Doing that. Fuck ageism and hip hop. That's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. Don't fall for it. You put in the hours, you just get better. You're a master.